Welcome back, everyone. We're on page 8 of Fall Festival and got my page out here. In the previous video, we did a peekaboo window for the inside of one of these flaps, and that's optional, so I left it in its own video. And now we'll just do a regular page 8, and you can decide if you want to put that peekaboo window here or not. So let me just give you your measurements. There's 6 you need to cut. Flap A is going to be 7 7/8 by 4 3/4. B is going to be 3 7/8, so 2 lines before 3, by 4 5/8, 2 lines after 4 1/2. C is going to be 3 7/8 by 4 3/4. That's a little bit bigger, and there's a reason why, so you will see. D is going to be 7 7/8 by 4. E is 5 1/8, 2 lines more than 5, by 4 3/8, which is 2 lines less than 4 1/2. F is our pocket, 8 5/8, so that's 2 lines more than 8 1/2 by 4 1/4. So always remember, and you're probably used to it by now, but if you have 5/8 is 2 lines more than the half, and 3/8 is 2 lines less than a half. Okay, so let's get this scored. Put my pocket page over here for the moment. And let's take out flap A, and that's going to be scored 1/2 inch with the 4 3/4 inch side facing the top. B is going to be scored 1/2 inch also with the 4 5/8 inch side facing the top. Actually, I'm going to put it on this side. I have a little bend in my paper, but that's going to be covered up with design paper. So C is going to have the 4 3/4 inch side facing the top. I just like to double check sometimes. Force of habit. D is our right flap. Now remember, if you printed out your cut list when I first posted the project share, I have the left and right switched around. So I have updated that in the new cut list, and it's on this video, so that shouldn't be a problem. I just thought I'd let you know ahead of time. So D is the right flap. And let's see, that's going to be with our shortest side facing the top. All right. E. Hold on one second. I'm going to make sure I get this right. Okay. So I also changed this measurement. It was originally 5 1/8, but now it's just 5 inches by 4 3/8, and that's going to be scored on 3 sides, and we're going to start with the 5 inch side facing the top. So this is a pocket. And F is our big pocket. So the longest side faces the top. Okay, let's get this tape on here. I'm just going to throw out there that if you like any of the pages in my other books that are 8 1/2 by 8 1/2, you can substitute one of those pages for one of these pages. That's up to you, but that works. And you can put whichever papers you want in this book. It doesn't have to be the exact one. But I do design the books with whatever paper pack I'm working with. I just look at the paper, see what direction it's going, see what kinds of scenes are on there, and that's how I design the book. But that doesn't mean you can't take another paper pack and put it on this layout. Now let's press everything. And we've got our two pockets. And we'll cut these corners. Okay, so let's bring down our pocket page. Make sure I'm facing the right way. Here's my 8. Okay, and I'm going to start, let me start with A. Where are you? Right here. And since this A is right in the crease, my design paper is going to go right up to that spot. So I'm going to put this, let's see, flap A goes on the left. And we're not going to corner around this because we're going to have pockets on here. You could corner around just the top, but there's going to be a pocket down here. But I'm going to leave it not rounded for now until I can see what's going on. And just guide ourselves to the bottom here. And we have a little bit of space left and right. So let's put a paperweight on here and see if we can dry fit our D pocket. D flap is going to go on the right hand side. So I'm going to, before I take that back, I want to make sure that I have a little bit of space here. And it looks like I need just a wee bit more. So I'm going to cut a little sliver off of this, and that is why you dry fit, because every once in a while just could be the way you laid down this other flap. Okay. It's a little crooked, this paper. It must be. I am going to cut myself a new D flap real quick. Hold on. That is just off by a smidgen. Yeah, okay. Hold on, I will cut this. Sometimes if you don't pull out your arm all the way and it's sticking down a little bit, your paper will be crooked. So that is probably what happened. So I'm going to quickly cut by 4. And let's see if this lays down a little better. try this again. Put that there. All right. I bring it right to the edge. I still want a little sliver taken off. Just that much. A little tiny bit. And let's, a little at a time. If I need more, I can cut more. So let's just see. That's better. And that gives me just a little bit of space. Tiny, tiny bit of space. So I am ready to put this down. I am going to corner round this with my small rounded edge. Okay. And now we put it right up to the edge, leave ourselves that little bit of room. It looks lined up left and right, and I'm just going to drop it down. So now I like that. These flaps can open without bumping into each other and fraying the edges. So now we're going to concentrate on this left-hand side here. I'm going to put my C and B flaps. Now C we're going to do first. C is at the bottom. And we're going to put this on the open side. So let me just line this up and make sure. Now it pretty much goes to the edge, and it is a wee bit longer than the top B flap, and that's because it has to go over a pocket that's going to be here. So if we need to cut off more, we can, but for now I'm leaving this a little bit longer. And let's just go right to the edge. So the left-hand side is lined up with the bottom of this, of our left-hand flap, and the corners are lined up, and then I just drop it down right on the edge here, and it goes right to the edge there. So B is going to be on the top. And that just gives us a little bit of space here. Okay. This is my little bifold door here. Okay, so now I'm going to put a pocket here. Our small pocket is E. So let me make sure this fits. It's a little short. Did I grab the wrong E? Let me see. Five inches. Okay, so you know, I think my original measurement was a little better. I am going to go, let me cut a new flap. That happened. So let me go. If I measure this, I just have to add an inch to whatever I measure. So I want my flap to come right up to this score line. So that looks like it's more like 4 1/8. So I am back to my 5 1/8. I was right the first time. I originally had it 5 1/8 and I changed it. So let me just recut that real quick. And we didn't waste too much, but that happens sometimes. So 5 1/8 by 4 3/8. I've got to get a bigger piece of paper. I'm looking through my scraps here. That's why I like to keep the scraps. Okay, so let's see if this is a minimum of 4 3/8, which it is. Okay, so I'm going to go 5 1/8, 2 lines more than 5, by 4 3/8, 2 lines less than 4 1/2. So I'm back to changing my cut list to the original 5 1/8. Alright, so I'm going to score this with our longest side facing the top. We'll just make ourselves a new pocket. If I ever have a big mistake, what I would do is just reshoot the video. But this is a small, it's just a small piece of paper and a few pieces of score tape, so that happens sometimes. And let's hope this fits better. And that is really why you want to fit everything before you take off your tape. Make sure it's where you want it to be. All right. So let's see if this fits better. Fingers crossed. It's going to go right at the bottom. Okay, I do like that better. So this is going to go at the bottom of this flap. It's going to be right before this fold line so that you can fold that over. And it comes not all the way to the edge, but a little bit before the edge. So I do like that. And we're ready to place this down. It's not to the edge of the pocket page, it's to the bottom edge of this flap. Okay, so now let's test it out. This goes down, this goes over, and it's just a little bit longer, which isn't too bad, but I'm going to take off a little piece. You don't have to. It's really a sliver, at least in my case, the way I laid it down. So this is just a little tiny bit I want to take off of here. That's it. You really don't need to. I'm just being a perfectionist. There, that looks quite good. I am happy with it. And let's put down our inside pocket. Right here, that looks good. Okay, so now we're going to go to the bottom of the pocket page and just going to have a little bit of space on the left and right side of this pocket. And these flaps will go over. And that is it. So now we just have our magnets that we need to do. So I'm going to put magnets here first. I'm just going to put these tape in the corner. So I have a mislabeled one. This negative is really a plus. That happens every once in a while. fold that down and then fold that over. So that goes like that. And then, now don't forget this pocket, once you put your design paper back here, this will lay flat and won't kick up like that. But we are going to, let's decide if we want to corner around these. I think I will. Okay, and then I only need one magnet in the middle of each of those. I have another pack over here. Put this one back. Now, a lot of you have made other scrapbook albums with other instructors online, and some of them don't use magnets for everything. I know I use a lot of magnets, but you can have other types of closures, like a swing tab, you know. So if you feel that you don't want to use so many magnets, you can close these over in other ways. These particular flaps, you're going to need magnets because it goes to the edge of the book where you're, you know, opening and closing. But if you had something reversed where the opening is over here, you could put a little tab that you swing over attached with a brad. You could do things like that. So that is always up to you. Feel free to change this book, make little tweaks that you like. And this is really just to give you an idea of what I did. Some people like to, you know, use their own methods, and some people like to follow along exactly how I did. Either way, I just want to throw that out there, that if you don't want to use so many magnets, you can get around that. So let's fold that over. Okay, and that is held down. This one is going to go right here. See, this one, you probably could if you wanted to get away with not putting the magnet, because I am going to have my tag put in this pocket, and that holds this flap down. So this is a place where you could go without if you wanted to. Now we have our last flap of this album. It's always bittersweet when you finish something. It's really cool. You get to see what you made. It's exciting, but it was fun. So that came to an end. But I do have other books, so I will keep them posted up here, and you can always, you know, go back. And I will be coming out with new things too. I took a little break in the summer here, but I will be coming out soon with more books. And if you subscribe, you will get notified every time I post another project. Okay, so there we go. That's it. And I will show you how this is decorated. Voila, I like it. And then we have our tag in there. So let me just show you how this one came out. Okay, so I'll put my tag over here for now. All right, so if you don't want to order a packet of these Graphic 45 tall tags, what you can do is just cut a piece of paper. This is 3 7/8, so 2 less than 4. And I did have to cut a little piece off the end of this tag. So it would be, if I go to the top here, this would be 7 3/8. So that is 2 lines less than 7 1/2. And you could probably go to 7 1/2. It would, let me see, you probably have that little bit of room. You could go to 7 1/2 if you wanted to. And the ribbon here is optional. That will stick out of your book a little bit, but that's okay. So I made this, the way I got the paper to go all the way up to the top is I have a die cut of this tall tag. If you don't, you could just put your paper right up to here and just have a little black showing there, and that looks good too. So, okay, so there's that. On the bottom flap, I have my pumpkin with the chalkboard in the background, the cocoa over here. It looks really cute. So you open that up and you have your bench here and the pumpkins. I love those. Okay, so I have a little scrap of the burlap paper, and if you want, you can put this tag inside and go like that, but I just thought it looked good this way. Okay, so then the other side is the pumpkins, which goes with this, and the flip side of that. We have the distressed wood on this side and this side, and that's where I chose to put my peekaboo window. Got the pumpkins here. I made a little photo book out of one of the tags, and this is a photo mat. And that looks really good. So the pullout is green, but again, you can use the red that's in here, any solid color you want that you think goes. For the back pocket page, I have my pumpkin paper that goes. I try to tie it in so it goes, and I put a little embellishment. I just found it somewhere, so I have this elongated piece of scroll type. You could put anything there you want or nothing at all. And you can even put pictures on this pocket. I have a photo mat here, which I put a little strip of black, which makes it look good. And my photo mat in the back is tall and thin, so it would go flying around. So there's a magnet on the back of that with the magnet under there. And then this will stay down. And that is it. I hope you liked it. I had a lot of fun. And stay tuned. Next week I'll have the bonus book posted with this. And hope you enjoy it. Let your friends know, and we can have more friends come along and join me, and we'll just have one big party after another every time I post a book. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I will see you soon.